Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering, and we are off to a blazing fast start. A Rift Bolt suspended for Jeff on burn versus Heather on Death and Taxes with an Aether Vial. Basic lands abound, so Price of Progress. It's going to be a little sus in this match. Could end up being good, but Heather's down to just 11 already with three damage spells toward her face, and now we've got a Thalia, which is going to at least slow things down a little bit, perhaps. We've got a Chain Lightning. She's down to 8. And looks like Giver of Runes going to show up. Going to keep that Thalia around. Now, Death and Taxes does have access to some life gain. Able to swing here with Thalia. Fire Blast, paying 1 mana floating, and another Fire Blast. Swords to Plowshares on Thalia. Jeff has sacrificed his entire mana base, and Heather at 2. And that's that life gain I was talking about. Swords to Plowshares, Batterskull, Umezawa's Jite. There's a bunch of different ways that Death and Taxes can gain life. Swords, the sneakiest of them. Classic line here. We've got Sanctum Prelate at 1. That's going to cut off. If Jeff does manage to draw a 1 mana spell, it's not going to be able to be cast thanks to the Sanctum Prelate. He's going to have to draw something similar. I mean, a Rift Bolt, actually. Yeah, he pretty much wants to draw a Rift Bolt and real fast. He is down to 6. And he is going to be dead on this next turn, it looks like, as Sword of Fire and Ice actually going to give pro red, even if he drew a blocker, would not delay the inevitable, as Heather steals that game with a perfectly timed Swords to Plowshares, as Jeff was all in on that Fire Blast. You know, you can't fault the line whatsoever. It's exactly what Burn needs to be doing. Heather had the card and was able to play it to stay alive and ride that Thalia to victory, especially thanks to Sword of Fire and Ice wrapping the game up significantly faster, doing 6 damage a turn compared to 2, essentially getting Jeff out of there in the 3 additional turns compared to an additional 9 turns. I mean, 9 turns, anything could happen, but in 3 turns, it's pretty difficult. I mean, it would have needed to have been like perfect cards, like Fire Blast along with 2 mountains, something along those lines. So Heather, the exciting response to that really fast start from Jeff. And that is actually some of the stronger kind of gameplay from Burn versus Death and Taxes is going to be the ability to actually burn right to the face. Cards like Goblin Guide and Monastery Swiftspear can very quickly be outclassed compared to Death and Taxes creatures. Thalia has First Strike, so she can easily destroy Goblin Guide in combat. Monastery Swiftspear can easily be held back with cards like Mother of Runes, though that does leave the shields down if there's some burn to potentially be applied to creatures. But honestly, that's probably in Death and Taxes' favor. Once they start targeting your creatures with their burn, a lot of the time, unless it's a card like Searing Blood or Searing Blaze that also hits the player, they just don't have what it takes to actually cross the finish line if they're using their resources as some type of control deck. We've got a Goblin Guide for Jeff, starting out. It's amongst the strongest starts, but this Goblin Guide will likely get quickly outclassed. Now, it does actually play pretty well in a kind of ideal situation where you have burn to remove their blockers, and the Goblin Guide is hitting for 2 a turn. It's not quite as good in terms of the overall life total, but I mean, it does actually largely mitigate the problem. So here, a Lightning Bolt on Thalia and swinging for 2 is definitely acceptable, and it's moving towards victory compared to just using a Lightning Bolt. And I don't know what this burn spell is. Yeah, I don't recognize the art on that one. That might be a reprint of a familiar burn spell. I am not sure. But Goblin Guide able to swing for 2 after clearing Thalia. Oh, and another Thalia. I think it was a 2 casting cost burn spell. But it didn't damage Heather. Usually that would be Searing Blood or Searing Blaze. Yeah, let me know in the comments what that burn spell is. I'm actually very curious about that. Got a Fire Blast to the face with 2 mana floating. A Light Up the Stage, 1 mana floating. This is a Highwire act right here. I believe he's still got the 1 mana floating. Let's see, he had 3. No, I guess he can't skewer the critics. Light Up the Stage cost 2, Fire Blast cost 1, and he had 3, so he did get the land, but the skewer the critics is going to be difficult to enable. He is dug closer to a Fire Blast. We'll see if Heather can have a Swords to Plowshares ready to save her from a Fire Blast. At this point, she's probably not going to want to walk away from having Swords to Plowshares mana open if she suspects that Jeff has it. So skewer the critics. No damage has been dealt. He is going to end up just letting that go away. And during the end step, it looks like she's going to be tapping out for the Stoneforge Mystic. Oh no! What do we have here? A Flicker Wisp, which can get rid of the Thalia. Oh, very, very nice. Swords to Plowshares on the Flicker Wisp. Very fun. Well-played lines here, and now the Germ token ready to regain the life. Sends, he's going to take the damage, and really that life gain was pretty much it right there. Another Aether Vial comes down, and Thalia's entering in, and Heather picks that game up. Oh, there's actually an incorrect icon there. Heather wins that one back-to-back games thanks to Swords to Plowshares and some tight play. And those were some really fun games. Thanks to both Jeff and Heather for those games. That was a lot of fun for me. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.